To faithfully reproduce a variety of roses, budding grafting is the most effective method. Budding grafting takes place in July, August, when the roses start to develop or even fade. So we take a branch, a nice branch, and on this branch we check that the thorns detach easily, a sign that we can definitely use this particular type of buds to install on our wild rose plant. While nurserymen graft their roses onto wild roses cultivated in open fields, in a nursery you can also graft roses onto a wild rose in your garden, wild roses that grow naturally in a meadow. We are going to choose a spot where we can precisely place this bud. Here we are dealing with branches that are quite significant. We are going to do a top graft, whereas the nurserymen usually graft at the base of the rose or on a stem. This will allow us to have fairly tall roses. So we are going to remove some leaves. We are going to do cleaning. This way we can find ideal spot to position the bud. I make a T with a grafting knife or black budding knife. On the other side of my grafting knife, I lift the bark. It should lift easily, a sign that this is the right time for grafting. Now I will take my bud. Now I no longer need my roses. I'm going to cut them and keep only the branch that will be useful for taking my buds. With a grafting knife, I will carefully remove part of the petiole 1 centimeter below the bud. I gently lift the bud. Inside this bud, I carefully remove the wood. So here, you can clearly see the eye without the wood. And I will carefully and precisely place this bud inside the T. I slide it in very gently and carefully. It should glide smoothly and the bud should be in the lower part. Ensure it is positioned correctly. I carefully cut the excess bud right at the T-junction. Now we will proceed to the next step, which involves moving on to the process of tying the plant securely. Professionals use rubber bands. We are going to use raffia, which is quite easily found in stores. Raffia is sold dry. It absolutely needs to be soaked before use. Soak it for 24 hours or at least a good dozen hours before using it. Raffia, a natural and organic material, is ready to be used when it whistles, and sustainable. We will start at the upper part. Now we will carefully and securely seal our bud with our raffia, a natural product, leaving a part of the petiole outside where the bud is. It is tied quite tightly. It needs to be well sealed. The graft takes when the bud starts to develop a month later and the small petiole turns yellow and falls off. And it is only from the month of March that you will use pruning shears and cut the upper part in such a way that the bud is freed and can develop normally. If there are other stems developing from the rootstock, you should also cut them off. This way, you will have a rose in the aerial part of your wild rose.